7 wannabe Fender guitar models you must avoid, and 3 that are actually real Fenders. That guitar in your hands has a Fender-style headstock, a Fender-style body, maybe even a name close enough to make you assume it's the real thing. It isn't. We dug through custom seizure records, court filings, repair logs, and independent reviews to find out exactly who's selling you a wannabe. 7 brands are counting on you never knowing the difference. 3 guitars are the real deal, under $300. Let's expose them. Number 7, Glary. It shows up everywhere. Amazon, TikTok ads, $40 acoustic electrics with a cutaway body, and a 6-in-line headstock that borrows the Fender California look almost stroke for stroke. Thousands of reviews, 4 stars, looks like a steal. But here's what the star rating doesn't lead with. Glary's own customer feedback page is full of stripped bridge screws, rusted neck bolts, unfinished fretboard ends, and strings that snap within the first week. One buyer described the fretboard edge as poorly fitted straight out of the box. Another reported the pickup volume dropping unevenly across strings, with no fix except living with it. And here's the tell. Glary's own support team responds to nearly every one of these complaints with the exact same line. Forwarded to quality control, will improve. That's not a one-off apology. That's a company that knows its quality control fails often enough to keep a template ready. You're not buying a Fender-inspired instrument. You're buying a coin flip with a Fender-shaped headstock. But here's where things start getting genuinely uncomfortable, because the next brand isn't hiding behind a random online storefront. It's sitting on real store shelves, in real music departments, right now. Number 6. The generic Fender headstock clones. Brands like SX and a rotating cast of nearly identical budget labels that use the same 6-in-line tuner layout Fender trademarked decades ago, just angled a few degrees off so lawyers can't touch them. Here's the part most buyers never learn. Fender actually lost the trademark fight over the Stratocaster and Telecaster body outlines years ago. Those shapes are public domain now, which is exactly why any factory can legally copy them. But the headstock shape and the logo are still protected. So these brands copy everything they're legally allowed to copy, get as close as physically possible to everything they're not allowed to touch, and bet that your eye can't tell the difference in a product photo. The wood underneath is laminate, the tuners slip within weeks, and the setup out of the box is, by multiple independent accounts, unplayable without an immediate trip to a guitar tech. You paid for the silhouette of a Fender. You got none of what actually makes one worth owning. And here's the part that should really bother you. Some of these clone brands change their company name every year or two, sometimes to dodge a wave of bad reviews piling up under the old one. The guitar barely changes. The label does. That's frustrating, but it's not the most predatory setup on this list. The next one wraps all of that same laminate wood inside a bundle designed to look like you're getting something for free. Number 5, Best Choice Products, $70 to $100, and it shows up bundled with a gig bag, a tuner, a capo, extra strings, the whole kit, looking like a deal too good to pass up. Here's what that bundle is hiding. Best Choice Products isn't a guitar company at all. It's a company that also sells lawn furniture, trampolines, and kids' play sets. The body is all laminate construction. Buyers report tuners slipping out of tune mid-song, a poorly cut nut that binds the strings at the headstock, and fret buzz severe enough that basic chords become unplayable without professional intervention, costing $50 to $80 on top of the sticker price. Do that math, and a $70 guitar quietly becomes a $150 guitar. And you didn't find out until after you had already paid and already needed the repair. The bundle psychology is doing all the work here. The tuner, the picks, the gig bag. None of it costs the company more than a few dollars combined, but stacked together on a product photo, it makes a mediocre guitar look like generous value. But here's a name you'll actually recognize. Sold through a retailer millions of Canadians and Americans already trust for musical instruments. Number 4. Rogue, the house brand pushed hard by musician's friend, starting under $60. The packaging photographs like a real instrument, and for a lot of first-time buyers, that's all the research that happens. But Rogue guitars are designed in South Korea and manufactured in China with one single target: the lowest price physically achievable. The top is plywood spruce, not solid wood, not close to it. The fretboard is painted maple standing in for real rosewood, and multiple documented repairs found fret wire sharp enough to snag and cut fingers during normal play. In one repair review, a school-owned Rogue needed its tuning machines replaced within the first week of use. And in one opened-up repair case, actual wood chips from the factory boring process were found loose, rattling around inside the body cavity. That's not a rare, unlucky defect. That's what quality control looks like when the cost of real craftsmanship has been engineered out of the process from day one. Before we get to the ones that get genuinely disturbing, take a second to like this video and subscribe. It helps this get in front of the beginners who need to see it before they spend their first paycheck on the wrong guitar. Let's keep going. Number 3. First Act. The one sold at Walmart and Target, shelved right next to the toy aisle, priced under $30. The marketing copy says steel-reinforced neck, acoustic guitar, aimed squarely at parents who have no idea what they're actually looking at. Verified buyers say otherwise, in writing, in the review section itself. Large sections of the body are plastic, not wood, despite what the product listing claims. Strings arrive out of tune, and in multiple documented cases, cannot be tuned into pitch at all. Some buyers reported strings snapping on the very first tuning attempt before a single note was ever played. This isn't marketed as a toy, it's marketed as a learning instrument, sold to parents testing whether their kid sticks with guitar before spending real money. What that $30 actually buys is an instrument that can't hold a tune, can't be played in any real musical context, and quietly teaches a kid that guitar equals frustration before they've ever strummed a real chord. Parents aren't buying a bad guitar on purpose. They're buying based on a photo and a price tag that looks reasonable for testing out a hobby. The photo is where the deception lives. But the next two entries aren't about disappointing kids anymore. They're about instruments built specifically to fool adults who think they know what they're looking at. Number 2, and this is where wannabe turns into flat-out fraud. Actual counterfeit Fenders. Guitars stamped with a real Fender logo that never touched a real Fender factory. U.S. Customs and Border Protection has seized entire shipments of these coming through the mail, some sold for $300 to $700, built specifically to pass as the genuine article at a glance. Independent bloggers who have bought these fakes for research describe headstock logos that are slightly too thick, pickups labeled noiseless that are anything but, and hardware that starts falling apart within weeks of arrival. Guitar industry experts who've examined these instruments up close have called it exactly what it is: fraud. No complicated way around it. It isn't illegal to unknowingly own one. It is illegal to sell one as genuine. And the buyers most likely to get fooled by a convincing fake are exactly the beginners this entire video is about. The people least equipped to spot the difference. One expert investigating this exact problem noted that only seasoned players and serious collectors can reliably tell a good fake from the real thing on site. Everyone else is guessing. And now, the one that surprises almost everyone watching this, because it never even bothers faking the logo. Number 1. The one that surprises almost everyone, because it isn't hiding behind a fake logo at all. It's the unbranded Amazon beginner bundle listings, $50 to $80, that copy real Fender spec sheets almost word for word. Spruce top, mahogany back and sides. The exact tonewood language you'd expect to see on an actual $400 instrument. The difference lives in one word buried deep in the fine print, or missing from it entirely: laminate. Independent reviewers who've actually played these report instruments that are unplayable without a professional setup that costs more than the guitar itself. These sellers aren't confused about their own wood. They know precisely what they're doing. They're selling the appearance of a legitimate spec sheet to someone who has no way to verify a single word of it before the box arrives. So, here's the part. Most videos like this skip entirely, because it's more profitable to just keep the outrage going. The very company every knockoff on this list is copying actually makes real, affordable acoustics of its own. And after everything you just heard, you deserve to know exactly which ones are worth your money instead of another wannabe. The first real Fender worth buying is the Fender FA-115, sitting at the true entry level, often bundled with a gig bag and tuner. It uses laminate spruce on top like most guitars at this price point, but the neck, the genuine rosewood fingerboard, and the overall build quality are reviewed as genuinely solid for a true beginner price. It's one of the few bundle guitars on the market that's actually worth what it costs. The second is the Fender CD60S, sitting around $200. It has an all-solid spruce top, not laminate, real wood that opens up and improves in tone as it ages, which is the single biggest jump in quality over anything on this list. Reviewers testing it against other beginner acoustics consistently point out low, buzz-free action straight out of the box and tuning stability that beats guitars twice its price. This is the guitar teachers actually recommend to beginners without hesitation. The third is the Fender California series, the Redondo or the Monterey, around $250 to $300. Yes, it uses that same 6-in-line Strat-style headstock every knockoff on this list was trying to fake. The difference is, this one is genuinely Fender's own design, built with a solid or hybrid top, a comfortable slim taper neck, and a built-in pickup system that makes it stage-ready out of the case. Reviewers consistently call the playability the standout feature, the exact feel every cheap clone on this list was faking and never actually delivering. Here's the uncomfortable truth underneath all 7 of these. Almost every brand on this list is selling you a silhouette, a headstock shape, a body outline, a spec sheet vocabulary, borrowed from a guitar they were never actually going to give you. Real wood, real setup, and real quality control cost money, and every wannabe on this list found a way to cut exactly that corner while keeping the look fully intact. That's the entire business model in one sentence. Sell the appearance of the real thing to someone who has no way to check it until it's already in their hands. You don't have to gamble on a coin flip guitar to start playing. For $200 to $300, you can own the real thing. Solid wood, a proper factory setup, and a name on the headstock that isn't borrowed from anyone. The good guitars exist. Now you know exactly which ones are actually real, and which ones we're only ever pretending to be. If this opened your eyes, subscribe, because next we're taking apart the electric guitar brands doing the exact same thing. And what we found is even harder to believe.